Yes.
I forgot about LUL. What? Wait, is this? Yeah, we got socks. Can you see it?
I'm KMFA's Jess Griggs, here for Season 2 of Offbeat Frontiers. Today we're here at Brewtorium, joined by Jordan Walsh, a percussionist about town, composer, and professor. And for full transparency, also my partner. We do have a dog together. And for journalistic integrity, we're actually going to break form and bring our cameraman, Jack Kloecker, out to do the interview. And I'm going to go behind the camera, so wish us luck. Jack, get out here. Oh. Awkward shuffle.
Awkward shuffle. Hello. This is interesting for me. Hello, everybody. So, Jordan, we go back a little bit too.
Just a little bit.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
We met at Princeton.
We did.
University.
That's weird.
We didn't go to Princeton.
No, not at all.
Let's make that clear.
That would not have happened for me.
But we met at the So Percussion Summer Institute in 2018.
God, that feels like another lifetime.
And somehow we both ended up in Austin at the same time, and our paths are now crossing. So it's just super cool to be talking to you today and to be talking some percussion. So sorry if we get too heady. We're going to talk percussion today.
It's going to happen.
There's a running joke in town that no matter what classical adjacent concert you go to, you're going to see Jordan Walsh in the back going away. So to kind of test you, can you name all of the ensembles you play with in Austin?
Almost certainly not. Let's try.
Give it a shot.
We're gonna need some text help from me here. Okay, so the big ones. Let's start with the band. So there's Maru Haru, led by James Tabata, which is kind of like a glam pop orchestral thing. New album out now called Dearly Belated. There's Middle Satri, which is kind of an experimental folk deal. I play guitar with hammers, wrong. It's a whole thing. Density 512. I play with them and I do the personnel management. There's Goliath was Bigfoot, which is a pseudo minimalist metal band. There have been a lot of gigs with where I'm just the guest and I'm just happy to be there. I've played with Austin Unconducted, and that was a lot of fun. Man, Woman, Friend, Computer was a big one. Tom Eccles' solo project. I've played for Golden Hornet on their educational stuff a fair bit. Who am I missing? Choirs, all the choirs. Yeah, so there's Inversion Ensemble, Panoramic Voices. I was on a lot of their stuff last year. Man, when you say it all out loud, I sound like a sociopath, don't I? What else? Help me out. I think that's the big ones. Peach Blossom Highway with our own Jess Briggs. Everybody say hi to Jess behind the camera. Hi, Jess. No, and that's our kind of like spoken poetry plus percussion excuse to do things band. Yeah.
It's had to be interesting since you have left UT and you've been gigging with all of these different ensembles, very different in all their own rights, very unique in all their own rights, very Austin in all their own rights. How has that influenced you as a performer as well as a composer?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it I've always been a little, I think, unfocused, honestly. Like, as a musician goes, you know the game. Like, we're very, eyes ahead, right? And that's never been something I've been terribly good at. Like, my old teachers would tell you this since I was 18, right? Because the other part of my practice is I'm an audio engineer. I like to mix and master and record people and all that stuff. So in the early days, the big split for me was very much, okay, I'm a percussionist, then I put on my engineer hat and go to bar and work a gig. And then I come back and it was much more of a code switching. And over the years, you know how it is. You get older, things get denser, there's more going on, and that line kind of ceased to exist for me. I stopped really trying to think like an engineer and then think like a drummer. I was trying to think like a musician. And that, I think, is the only reason I can kind of juggle this way, is because I don't know, I'm not sure, if anything, it's made me less of a percussionist. I just play on percussion. That is my medium. But the code switching happens more in the aesthetics, right? I really try not to treat these bands terribly differently in practice. It's just what's the right sound, what's the right attitude for this particular group of people in this audience, in this community.
Do you have like a certain moment that was probably like your most culture shock from where you started as a percussionist, as you started getting out into the quote unquote real world of gigging? Was there like a certain ensemble or a certain gig where you walked in, it's like, oh, this is way different than anything I've ever done?
Ooh. This is going to be a backwards answer, but absolutely there was. And it was when I started playing with bands again. So as all drummers do, I started out as a kid thinking I was going to be in a metal band, right?
Of course.
And that was, yeah, we all do.
Avenged Sevenfold for me.
Yeah. No, I was a Dream Theater baby.
Okay.
And I was working my double bass pedal, and it was toxic, and it was awesome. But then you go to school, you kind of focus in. I didn't. C'est la vie. And I got very into experimental art very quickly. And then I spent 9-ish years in school, and then I get out the other side, and suddenly I blink and I'm in 2 bands, like bands, which that's something I had done in college a little bit, bar bands, cover bands, and the like. But funny enough, never as a drummer. I played bass in a lot of bar bands back in undergrad.
That seems to be so common for some reason. Like,
it's a thing, man.
Yeah, drummers just like, I play drums all the time. I'm gonna play bass.
Yeah, suddenly you're like, what if I played an instrument with notes? Imagine that. But so it was something I really let go of through school. And then on the other side, suddenly Hunter and James were very kind to me and asked if I was willing to like read some songs and kind of like maybe record a little. And suddenly I wake up and I'm playing Cheer Up Charlie's and like Sidewinder and like these bars and these clubs on stages that I'm very familiar with as an engineer, but not as an artist. I think the big one, actually, the oh God, what happened? How did I get here? Might have been playing with Man, Woman, Friend, Computer, Tom Eccles' project. We played a New Year's Eve show at Parish, opening for Devochka, which is apparently they did the soundtrack for Little Miss Sunshine. They're one of these cult following kind of indie bands from the early aughts, and that crowd was just so kind, and like clearly this was an important thing that I got to step into. That it was I woke up the next day like it had been kind of a fever dream. So much glitter, my God.
Aside from gigging with every possible ensemble in town, you also teach. You teach at Southwestern University.
Yep.
You teach at ACC, right down the street from Brewtorium. How does your experience in the Austin music scene influence your teaching philosophy?
Oh, in a massive way, and in a way I didn't really expect, I don't think. So my teaching philosophy is very much everybody hits. That's a thing that's been brought out by a lot of percussionists long before us. This is one of the lowest barriers of entry to making music, is to take a stick and whack a thing, right?
Yep.
Like that's all it is.
Yep.
And then what you do with that makes the art. I do believe that every person has this in them, and every person should have the opportunity to kind of go through the process and take the licks and really like see how far they can take it. So Southwestern is a very small program, which means that we get to tailor experiences to students much more than larger state schools, right? And then ACC, Austin Community College, about 200 feet that way from here. You can see why we ended up at Brewtorium, right? We're a community college. We are meant to be a place for everyone. The joke is always 18 to 80, right? And beyond. So I really try and bring that kind of like furious curiosity back to my students. Like I try not to pretend like I have the answers, because let me be clear, I do not. I don't really have all the answers. I know I can tell when they're making a mistake or when there's a better way for them to do something, but we're exploring together. And that's something that does come from just kind of when I turn off at 6:30 or 7 from teaching and go to a gig or to a rehearsal, it comes from that sense of I'm no longer acting as if I have anything resembling an answer. I'm just learning along with everybody else.
You bring percussion down to its core, it's problem solving.
Yeah.
I think like the first thing the band director asks you when they're trying to suss you out, like, is this gonna be my percussionist or not? They ask, is your room dirty? Is your room dirty at home? And it's because they're just trying to see, are there people who are going to be organized, which percussionists, I don't know if we're organized, but
I wouldn't say so.
Something like that.
Jack, you know me.
Something
Come on.
like that. But you got to figure it out. You got to be able to set up a bunch of instruments in the right way at the right time, if not early.
Right.
Strangely enough. But I think at the core, it's like problem solving. They need the weird bird sound in the back made. They're not going to ask the trumpet player to make the bird sound. They're going to look at the percussion section and say, hey, can you make a bird sound?
Yep.
And we got to figure out how to make the bird sound.
Yeah, our instrument is defined not by what it is, but by what no one else is willing to do, right?
Exactly. So you have an Offbeat concert coming up at KMFA on October 17th with the title If It Keeps On Raining. Do you mind talking a little bit about the origin of that title, what it means to you, and what the audience can expect with that?
Yeah, this concert, we have to address the nepotism here. So, full disclosure, Jess Griggs, behind the camera, has long been my partner in production for my solo work. Any good playing, I think, is hopefully my hands. Any good ideas are Jess. And Jess is very good at squeezing that out of me and forcing me to actually say what I'm trying to say. So for many years, I've been putting on a series called Battery Critical, and it's been kind of this ever-evolving exercise in exhaustion in one way or another. I mean, you know how it is being a gigging musician or anybody in art or media. You're hustling constantly, and there's no end in sight ever, and you get used to that, right? And it ceases to be a negative thing. It's just part of your world. That doesn't make it not challenging, right? So for years, my solo work has really kind of surrounded this idea of like, I'm tired, but this is still what I want, right? And that has been a way into a lot of very interesting things with a lot of composers that I really love. This concert, it felt like it was kind of time to put that to bed. We'd said everything we needed to say. Alas, I'm still very tired. You know? You can see the bags, I think, in my eyes. But no, I think If It Keeps On Raining, originally this concert was going to be called Flood the Zone. I don't know if I need to tell you this, but we live in a noisy time in the world. It's a little odd out there right now. I don't know. But, and so much of that is just a deluge of information. Some of it helpful, some of it unhelpful, some of it not real. And that is something that compounds that exhaustion. So If It Keeps On Raining, I'm taking this from Kansas Joe McCoy and Memphis Minnie's When the Levee Breaks. Some of y'all know it from Led Zeppelin, I would imagine. And that's it. The line is, if it keeps on raining, the levee's gonna break. Something has to give, right? So it's an old idea, an exercise in being tired and being overwhelmed, but the takeaway is, what do you do in the face of that, rather than just kind of living in it? And I think the answer, I'll let you know the thesis statement right now, is lean on your community, lean on your people, and take care of them in whatever way you can. So this concert's not just me. It's a fair bit of me, but Middle Satry will be making an appearance in one way or another.
Very cool.
My students will be part of the pre-concert experience, and there's going to be a little bit of a participatory audience percussion ensemble thing. Our boy Sam Wheeler is going to be doing some sound bath stuff out front. There's some things that I don't want to give away quite yet, but it's really me and friends. I'm not terribly big on just it being me by myself. That feels strange. And part of what makes Austin special and this place so special is the community, right? And I don't get to do what I do, which I'm very lucky and glad to do, without the trust of a lot of people. It would be remiss of me not to repay that trust in kind, right?
It's a community hall, which I think, if we've discovered anything with the Offbeat Frontier series, is all of the Austin music scene is a community hall. Without giving too much away, of course, you do have a few new commissions on this show.
I do.
Would you mind talking a bit about some of the commissions that we are going to see?
So, first things first, I am writing something original for this. The Flood the Zone title's kind of been repurposed into the piece, and it's going to be a drum set solo with electronics. The gag is all of the material is annoying things I do when I'm sound checking at clubs, and then written out into a piece, right?
Oh, I have hours of you. I already know some of the things.
You know the piece already.
I already know what you sound with. So.
Yeah, I don't know the piece yet. I'm sure you're gonna hear it and go, yep, that's accurate.
That's Jordan Walsh. Yep.
Louis Raymond Kloecker is writing me a piece, another old friend of both of ours.
Shout out Nebraska.
Yeah, there are 12 percussionists on Earth, let it be known. But Lewis is an old friend. He's a fantastic musician.
Fantastic.
And he's an Austin native, one of the rare. He's no longer living here, but he's writing me a piece for solo multi-percussion and electronics. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay.
There may or may not be a pumpkin involved.
Okay.
We'll leave it there.
Very fitting for October.
Right? Yeah, it's all coming together.
Yeah, it's all coming together.
Me and one of my dear friends, Ida Shirazi, one of my colleagues at ACC.
Who we saw on Here Be Monsters, correct, with Line Upon Line.
Yeah, she did a really cool set with the LUL guys.
Yes.
I forgot about LUL. What? Wait, is this? Yeah, we got socks. Can you see it? No, so Ida did a really cool set with Line Upon Line at this last Here Be Monsters, and is a really, really well-known composer just out in the wider world. I'm thrilled that she's willing to slum it with me. And then Hunter Pruger, who has come up already as the band leader of Middle Satry, one of the greatest songwriters I've ever had the pleasure of working with. Incredible stuff. The album is Tendencies by Middle Satry. But Hunter is writing me something, and I'm going to be honest, I know precious little about it. What I do know, and I trust Hunter implicitly, and that's why this is happening, is he called me a couple of weeks ago, asked if he could start over, because he had a better idea.
We love that.
We do, because like it's, I don't know, I feel like I've worked with musicians who get stressed by this, like, oh no, I need my notes, but I'm like, I want to present these composers the way they want to be presented.
Yeah.
Like, just like drums are just my medium, I'm just the drummer. Like, the art speaks for itself in some ways. I don't want them to cut off their creativity out of consideration for me. I'll stay up late for a night or two and figure the thing out, right? It's gonna be better because it's theirs.
100%.
So those are the original pieces.
I might have gotten like a little bird in my ear who told me that there might be some covers of some well-loved songs.
Yeah, there just might be.
Can you confirm that or deny that?
I can confirm that.
Okay.
I think if any of this is not well-loved, then learn to love it, right? It's just some of that music that's really, really, like, monumental. I'm gonna be doing a version of When the Levee Breaks, which is made famous by Led Zeppelin, but is written by Kansas Joe McCoy and Memphis Minnie. And then if we have any Laurie Anderson fans in the audience, Oh Superman is going to be one of the other ones, which has just been, I've been threatening to do something with that for many, many years. This was like a COVID obsession while we were all locked in our houses. Never went anywhere, but hey, now's the time, right?
Yeah, 100%. Other than the Offbeat Concert, we can assume that the Jordan Walsh has a little bit more coming up in the 25 and 26 season. I'd be surprised if you said no. Do you have any highlights, anything that you're really looking forward to in this upcoming performing season?
Yeah, I mean, like, the non-committal answer is everything. So something that will have just happened for y'all, but lives in the far-off flung future of a couple of weeks from now for me, a group called SoundMap. I forgot about SoundMap. Can we plug SoundMap in later?
We're plugging in SoundMap.
Okay. We'll make a document. Play with an ensemble called SoundMap, which is a collection of really just adventurous contemporary musicians in town. Jean-Louis Tejera is kind of our band leader, and we're actually coming up to Southwestern for a little residency up in a couple of weeks now. And then after that, the Peach Blossom Highway imprint is going to present John Cage's The City Wears a Slouch Hat. But Peach Blossom is very much Jess and I's excuse to do whatever. And we've been talking about doing this old radio play for many, many, many years. So we're expanding our forces, bringing 5 percussionists plus myself into it.
And I believe we have some KMFA radio personalities on that as well.
We do. Am I allowed to say who they are?
I think so.
Our own Jess Bass.
Perfect.
Guillermo Delgado. And then the man who can only be referred to as the radio god, Jeffrey Blair.
Jeffrey Blair.
The man. He's going to give the death monologue.
And I will make thee beds of roses and 1,000 fragrant posies, a path of flowers, and a kirtle, embroidered all with leaves of myrtle.
I'll be heading up to Indianapolis to present at PASIC, the Percussive Arts Society International Convention, doing a little panel discussion. I mean, Here Be Monsters looms large, right? It's the thing I look forward to most every year. I can't say what's going to happen because I don't know yet, but I know it's going to be rad. Some density shows coming up in the spring. We're doing more video games from Power Up this year. A couple of things that are still in the hopper, a recording session or two. And then we're gonna do something only to be known as divas with panoramic voices to kind of top it all off.
Let's go back to PASIC for a second. Being a little drum nerdy about it.
Let's get it.
PASIC's like the percussion mecca for us. It's our little like summer camp. It's where all 12 of us, quote unquote, get together and have a good time in Indianapolis. In the percussion world, it's kind of a big deal when you get a chance to actually do something on a stage at PASIC. So I know you just you swept past the PASIC panel, but do you mind talking a little bit about what panel you're going to be on and what is going to be part of that panel?
Yeah, so, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, it is one of those things I'm just happy to be here for, you know? Like, I'm genuinely honored that I'm allowed to do anything at all at that convention. My research, as it were, for the doctorate was very much about electronics and live performance and the ways that we as humans interact with media that is at once part of the art but not human, right? Electronics may or may not react to people, and they may or may not respond to us at all, right? There's generative electronics, there's live processing, there's fixed media, and they all work differently than just playing with other people. So part of my work is in kind of demystifying that process. This time around, we won't be playing a note, we're on a panel, and I'll be moderating along with a bunch of some old friends, some very new, who all have very different engagement levels with music technology. So, for example, Kellen King, old percussion buddy of mine, is going to be talking about, fielding questions from me about how electronics work in engraving and transcribing in the marching arts. We have a couple of marching arts specialists, marching band people. We've also got some recording engineers who are going to talk about that experience, and then some composers talking about the dense stuff, right? Max MSP and Super Collider. The goal is you can't really teach this stuff in 60 minutes flat.
No.
But the goal with this is to kind of, from a player's perspective, because it's all percussionists, like you said, we're all in summer camp, all 12 of us.
Yeah, all 12
and
of us.
the goal here is to give them the language to not know the answer, but ask the right question. So to get to a point where, no, I don't know Pro Tools, I don't know Ableton, but I know enough about what all of these things do to figure out what I don't know and then figure it out, right? It's very much I kind of think of it as so much education is from the bottom up, build a strong foundation and build. But when you're not going to make your life about a thing, top down is actually really helpful. I don't care if they know what a tilde does in Max MSP. I barely do. What I want them to know is, okay, think signal flow. Where is your sound? Where is it going? And how do we get there, right? So that's very much the focus of the panel.
Yeah, and you actually did your whole doctoral thesis on percussion and electronics, if I'm not wrong. So
Correct.
I think if there's anybody to talk about the topic, you're the man to go to.
I'm flattered. If anybody wants to do some COVID-coded light reading, everybody left me alone for about 12 months to just write in my room, and that was... I'm not sure yet if it was a good or a bad thing. You know what I mean?
Jordan,
Jack.
it's very rare that we get two percussionists on the screen, and I'm going to take advantage of this time. And we're going to do some rapid fire.
You're going to use it for evil?
We're going to use it for evil, and people are probably going to tune out during this part.
Great.
But except for the percussionists, all 12 of us. We'll get 12 views on this video. All right, let's start. Pearl or Black Swamp?
Oh, well, you know what you did
I
there.
know exactly
No, we
what I
love
did
them
with that.
both. They're good at different things, right?
They're good at different things.
Yeah. I play a Pearl drum set, but my snare drum is very much Black Swamp. Thanks, Tim.
Big Firth or innovative?
Innovative.
Innovative.
I'm gonna make some enemies here, but it's innovative.
Let's get nerdy about it. Favorite marimba mallet?
Favorite marimba mallet? Hang on. It's a TB3. The TB3 is the perfect mallet. Perfect weight, it's a little hefty, lots of tones, beautiful gray color. I can do a whole sales pitch here if we want. Can we flash TB3 between me and Jack here?
Marimba or vibes? I think I know your answer, but marimba or vibes?
Cyberphone, it fits in my apartment.
And other than it fitting in your apartment, why the vibes over the marimba?
It's smaller and I can see all the notes. I like an instrument that can sustain. It's something I have a far easier time slotting into bands and ensembles with. The marimba is it's a beautiful instrument, right? but it is very much its own thing. I've always like felt playing it like it stands on its own in a way, whereas a vibraphone, I can make it fit in better personally, let's say that. I'm also just going to be candid, I'm not a great marimbist. I never have been.
Who is a good marimbist anymore?
There's 12 of them.
There's 12 of them, and they're all really, really good.
And they scare me.
And they do scare me as well. All right, keyboard or multi-percussion?
Multi.
I
Not a
knew
question.
you were gonna
Not a
say
question. I like a big pile of instruments that I have to build the day of and not really know where anything is.
Xenakis or Cage?
Xenakis.
Okay.
No, come on. I've been threatening to get Xenakis tattoo for years.
You have been threatening that.
Yeah, it's got to happen at some point.
Why Xenakis over Cage?
Oh, I mean,
We need the why. We need you to show your work.
yeah, no, this is fair. This is fair. I mean, let's be blunt. It's a brand and a gag at once. No, I have played a lot of music by both of these composers, and they kind of split the gamut of Cage is so much about aleatory and chance, and Xenakis is this psychotic degree of control. And the horseshoe meets, and a lot of people engage with these composers as kind of part of the same medium, but they're very different, right? Xenakis is fascinating to me because the music is so constructionist. It's so meticulous.
Well, I mean, he was an architect.
He was an architect,
right?
yeah. And like some of it's on architecture paper. It has so little regard for my comfort. And I love that so freaking much. I also really just respect the place he was coming from. You can find old like VHS undigitized like interviews of the man or like recordings of him working with a performer on a piece. And oftentimes, if you're following the score, you notice, wait a second. Friendo's doing their best, but that's not what's there. And the man just loves it. Xenakis doesn't care. Like, I think I respect that level of craft and care, but also, like, there is a humanity to that music that I think doesn't get talked about enough. The man just wants people to do rad things. And that's kind of where I'm at, right?
Yeah. Jordan, it's been great. It's been great talking percussion. It's been great using this platform to talk about percussion and tell the world about all the 12 percussionists that exist.
For evil.
For the people who want to keep following you, where can they find you? And specifically, when and how can they find you in October at KMFA?
Good question. So, I am a notoriously poor communicator, and let it be known. It's not you, it's me. But you can find me at on Instagram is probably the easiest way, and the handle is at Jordan Walls, WALS, no H. Don't ask, it was a typo. Other than that, my website is jordanwalshmusic.com. I update it sometimes, not often. And then I hope you'll join me on October 17th at 6:30 p.m. for the pre-concert experience, as it were, with my students and Sam Wheeler and all these other super secret things, and then a concert proper at 7:30 at the Draylen Mason Music Studio at KMFA 89.5 on key, offbeat.
We got the tag in
Look at
there
them.
too.
Oh, I guess I play with KMFA too, because I'm the tag, right?
Oh, fun fact, this is the man who plays the KMFA tag.
Can we throw up the KMFA tag?
I'll put it at the end.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And to the people of the internet, thanks for tuning in to Offbeat Frontiers for Season 2. You can find us online at KMFA Classical on Instagram and Facebook, and at KMFA 895 on YouTube. Other than that, thank you, Jordan. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.